Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of NF Twins. Today, Mark, we're going to talk about the new AI browser war.
Talk about Microsoft Edge. That brings something out. What's happening here? Is that a new scam Microsoft is bringing out? Guys, come here, please. Make me your favorite browser. This is default, please.
No, Edge is probably still haven't realized that they don't have users yet.
Is that another rebrand? From Explorer to Edge, what's happening, guys?
Man, I still can't believe that people like Microsoft still trying to force people onto using Edge.
Well, they got to do it, man. I mean, every day.
Yeah, I mean that's for me like mind blowing that they're still trying to force them on. I think maybe it gotten better. Honestly, I haven't used it, so I think it's one of the things.
No, it's gotten worse. I feel like this time they don't get the hint that nobody wants it.
All right, Mark. So today I want to talk about actually because the other day I was trying out. So for those who don't know, Perplexity, for example, Perplexity is nothing else. It's basically AI chatbot. It's a model. So they can use all types of models, but they all came out with their own browser. So right now, because the thing is, what more and more comes into perspective is that for AI models, in context is everything. So browsers is the next frontier.
Why is that the new frontier?
It's a new frontier in the case because basically the AI chatbot or any chatbot can help so much more. It has more context. And if it is also in the browser, because the browser is in the end how the user interacts with the internet, it can get more and more context. And that makes also difference between just a normal, like being just good enough or great.
Okay, so what you're saying is basically, because you mentioned multiple times context, but you didn't say why context. So basically with the LLMs in the browser, you can automate stuff. So you can have agentic browser end of the day. So that if you go on Amazon and the browser knows that every Monday you go on Amazon and you buy apples or whatever you do, then it does it automatically. Or other stuff. If you check every morning your emails and it does all this stuff. Right? That's what it means, the context. It's more not total context, but more specific to you, tailored to you. What is your behavior and all this stuff?
Oh, what website are you on, right? Because the biggest problem is that when I, for example, if I have a problem, I take a screenshot and send it to ChatGPT and say, hey, please solve this. And that's a huge, huge problem because the thing is like it's a pain in the butt and then it doesn't understand the complexity of it. You don't know, it doesn't know how it got to you or how you got to that step. Same that way, like, for example, Lovable, because we're right now on our new project working a lot with Lovable. It makes a huge difference. Or Windsurf because it has access to entire database or at least the folder that you're working in, which makes it so much better because it doesn't have to assume things. It can basically load the entire context window full of all the information, which makes it so much more accurate. And you don't have to because sometimes when you do with ChatGPT, it has to assume things and then it gets things wrong and that makes it sometimes, for example, you're saying, it says, you have to go to settings and then to, I don't know, some weird ass sub tab, which doesn't even exist anymore. So if it would be in the browser, it can directly see it because it can see anything that happens in the browser. And then also basically guide you through it so you can take control because basically they have an option so they can take over the mouse. So also one of the things I want to talk about is because the three things that we're currently seeing. So one is, for example, OpenAI's new Atlas. So
this is the browser, but in general, man.
Yeah.
Think about if they're the browser, kind of sketchy, my man. They got access to everything.
Exactly. So one of the risks are definitely privacy. I want to talk about the risk later, but I want to first talk about the three, because there are three different ways how companies or the new AI companies are trying to solve it. So on the one hand, you have ChatGPT with Atlas, or OpenAI with Atlas, and it's basically what they're trying to solve. They're saying, okay, we're taking a new approach on browser. So basically, you're just in ChatGPT, and then you just text. And then it just shows you information. So basically shopping, etc. So
it's just a different and advanced browser engine, basically. Just an engine that searches like Google, just fucking ChatGPT, just a regular ChatGPT, always accurate, just searching, browsing.
Yeah.
That's expensive though. Must be expensive.
I mean, that's also one of the things I want to talk about in a second is the change of monetization models. Because right now we have everything over ads, right? Google's main money maker is the ad system, and that's one of the things that will have to change, depending on which browser model will like basically.
Why though? Why do you think that
Dominate-
will change?
Because
I would
the
argue
thing
that
is-
it doesn't have to change.
Yes, because in the end, every search requires like the AI, like the model needs to run.
Yeah, but think about it. They can still run ads. You can be like, hey, I want to place my app in OpenAI. I run ads, and you still have the CPM even better because you know they're going to suggest it. It's more competitive.
We'll see. We'll see how it will develop.
But you know what I mean. You get my point, right?
Before we talk about this, let's.
But do you
finish.
get my point?
Yes, but we'll see. But let's first talk about the other two models, right? Because that's the ChatGPT is basically saying, okay, the browser will be just a chat window.
Mhm.
Then we have on the other side Perplexity. Perplexity is with their new, I think, Comet. That's what the new browser. The browser looks more like it looks like a normal browser, but instead of having Google search, you can also just have the Perplexity, basically chat. So you can like ChatGPT, and then you also what they call it. It's like a sidecar. So basically, a sidecar is something that you have always. Well, you are still in charge and driving. So on a motorcycle, a sidecar is the one that you just like where you put something in there.
And passenger.
Exactly. So in that case, it will always. It's an assistant that is always there on the side. So if you're on a browser, it will read the website and then can assist you with certain aspects. So you still have the normal browsing experience.
So more like an agentic one, like an AI assistant, action capabilities.
But the problem is two things come up. First of all, like privacy, because if it reads everything, how is privacy handled? And the other thing is, if it's reading every time the browser and what you're doing, it's so much more costly. So you go to subscription. So for example, unless they're running locally, or what do you mean?
Yeah.
But then you think about it, then is it as accurate? Because the models, then it would be a small.
Yeah, fair enough. We're not there yet.
SLM.
All right, continue with the.
So okay,
the line thought.
My thought. Okay, I was saying. So we have the costs. So going more into subscriptions, because in the end, like you have to pay for it somehow. There's also a difference between right now AI LLMs as well as normal software, because normal software scales, right? It doesn't matter. You produce it once, you can sell it to millions of people. It's just like not a lot of additional costs. Whereas if you have LLMs, every prompt costs you money because the system has to run.
Yeah, so the variable costs are much, much higher.
Yeah.
They're like they're almost 1-to-1 because you can't change the costs.
Oh,
doesn't matter which company you are, unless you own the servers and all that stuff. There's only so much you can optimize. It costs you every single time.
In theory, you could have basically when you have empty runs, so you can optimize till it reaches the server capacity.
Exactly, and that is not comparable to other products, which makes all these products more expensive. Also, which leads us now to, let's call it business model innovation or pricing strategies, because today we're talking actually about a new project with a friend, and we're like pricing strategies. And I was like, look, we want to have different price tiers, and in these price tiers, we also need to have credits. I know people know credits from games, etc., or gambling, but also nowadays all the AI software has it. Because the problem is the regular software stack costs you whatever to use. Whatever you use additionally, you need to have credits, because if you run out, it's going to be super costly for the company, and you need to obviously roll over this cost to the end user. So you need to have different tiers, and then within tiers, subclasses of different types of credits.
That's why I think right now users get more and more used to it. So for example, what are we using? Claude. So in Claude,
Lovable has it.
Yeah, but the thing is with Claude, we have the pro plan or whatever. Like I think the basic paying plan, but still after a few messages, you reach the limit, and it's like, oh, you can't text till
I don't know.
few
it's
hours.
Weird. I've never
which is like
OpenAI. We never had that. You can use the cheap model.
To be honest, I assume that just ChatGPT doesn't give a fuck and burns so much money. How much money do they burn? How much money do they lose each year?
I think billions.
Exactly. So I'm assuming that Claude is just not burning as many tokens, so they don't care that much. That's why also ChatGPT has like 800 million users, which is a ridiculous number, especially if they would all use the new browser, because then they're locked in. Like if you use the browser, and it's like I see myself today we were what we were looking up on, I think the new blender bottle, so no, not blender, a new
2.5 billion per the first half of the year.
Crazy. So let's say 5 billion minimum. If not, it's not even accelerating. So, okay, my point was today, same with, for me, it feels already archaic for now using ChatGPT for 2 years, just to, because I was talking about the new NutriBomb like blender, and I was like looking
NutriBullet, yeah.
NutriBullet, whether it has like,
new NutriBomb.
whether it has enough wattage so it can also like do ice on the go and like shred it. But the problem is it doesn't have, instead of like, I first typed in Google, I was like, oh fuck, I can't like find it. And it's like, why am I like even dealing with this? Just like ChatGPT open, talking, like you do text to speech, directly get the answer comparison. So it's just like feels so much more natural.
See, that's the thing also. I mean, they're working on it that it's less hallucinating, because sometimes the stuff is not correct.
Yeah, but it's also on the internet.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it always is the case that it can be, but sometimes it's literally just fucking still imagining things.
But again, this is always a question when it's like a human being. If it doesn't know enough about a certain topic, it's
no,
wrong.
100%. But you know what I like though is that it simplifies things
as well.
No, not about the sources, but the things. Look, nowadays, well, this generation will have less problems because they're using ChatGPT, but the generation that we were, like, there's so much information out there, it's just overwhelming. And if you Google something, there's 20 websites. They say maybe
you know
20
which one to
things.
trust.
Yeah. Exactly. So then it's overwhelming. You don't know which one to trust. You're changing. But this one, you have only one or maybe two. I mean, the LLMs are probably usually very close if you use Claude, whatever.
Yeah.
Or suggest the same. So it's just like one point of truth, and that one you can just follow, which makes it much, much easier. Don't get me wrong. Also, you can obviously sway the opinion of people more, but it makes it so much easier for regular people, for day to day. Amazing.
That just reminds me of like, yes, but that was when we were a little bit older, right? Remember when we were kids and in high school, we always got into trouble because we always asked like, why? And because like the teachers like, yeah, it's just because it is. And we didn't have the option back then because smartphones were just like coming out later in the stage. Yeah, they're coming out later now. Or like, man, we sound very old already. But the thing is, like, you couldn't even just quickly do a Google search on now ChatGPT, which is even better, like faster, etc. Because that's the
kind
thing.
of sucks as a teacher too, though, man. You gotta be on
your
toes.
That's the thing. Like, then, because I always felt like back in high school or in high school in general that they were not. It didn't seem correct what they were saying, and then just like asking just got you into trouble. At the same time,
German school system.
At the same time, this is now just because I just got to think about the new Meta glasses with the screen. Now we're talking about about AI browser, but how does that all fit in with the new frontier, which will be smart glasses? To be honest, I believe the smart glasses in 5 to 10 years, most people will, or at least millions of people will use them on a daily basis.
So if you think about it, the browser is just a container for agents in that sense. So look, I mean, I think the Perplexity CEO also said that. So you need to have a way, an interface for where the user or human interacts with the AI. So usually nowadays we connect with the internet over, well, either apps or the browser. Yep. So you need to have this interface, this interconnection, right? You need to have some kind of interconnection, right? So if you have this point, then you have the agents where you then interface and then have it visual. You can also have that in a browser. But obviously Meta is not going to do that. They're going to have apps. Look, a browser is nothing else than a very, very generic or
it's an access to the internet. It's just like a door,
exactly.
Doorway.
It's a doorway, exactly. That's what it is.
Or gateway, I think that's what it's called.
Well, whatever it is, gateway, door. Yeah. It's the same point. But if you have that, so my point is, this is just a way how we're going to interact with the AI agents, or AI for that matter. For those people who don't know what an agent is, it's just basically AI who can also do things.
Use tools.
Use tools, exactly. Like browse something or send an email, whatever you want them to do. Look into your database. So that's why I think it's super cool. And I think that will be super helpful. But I am not sure, because you didn't talk about what is the incumbent doing, Lucas. What's Google going to do? Because we talked about Perplexity, we talked about OpenAI, but Google is the incumbent. He's the big man on campus. What are they going to do? Because now, I mean, I've already seen if you type Google, if you search something, they always recommend first is the AI answer.
The bot.
You super
I think it's not called Gemini. I think right, Gemini 2 point whatever.
No, I think they renamed it again. No,
Again,
wasn't Gemini the bad one? What is it called?
No. I think it's because right now I think it's Gemini Flash 2.5 or something like this. But my point is, you can already see that they're removing the multiple
Gemini,
pages.
yeah.
So they're removing the pages on the bottom, so you can see only the top 10 in the browser. So, but we'll see what Google will do. But for me, I think there's a more shift that we can see now that what is the new currency. So what I believe what is the new currency, especially with these new AI like browser war, etc., is context. So you can see for every
a currency for what?
So for an AI without context, it's just another chatbot tab.
Okay. But what are you paying with in currency? Like currency is always used to pay for something, exchange something.
Yeah, the thing is, whoever can use the context better or gets more context will win.
But okay, do you think honestly that someone like you and me, or I don't know, Claudia, 60 years old, can know the difference if which is better? Unless they're going to be performance-wise maybe 2%, 5% better. It's just which is going to have the first access, which is going to be pre-installed on your device.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
But at the same time, I see myself, I was always using Chrome, but now I use so much ChatGPT. So if it's 10x better, you will start using it.
Yeah, but what if Google Chrome, the new Chrome, is 9x better than the current one?
Yeah, it's fine. Then I'll probably keep using this.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's just like, you're right. But on the other hand, just like people are lazy, man. And we don't notice the difference that much. Especially since the AI is already so good that unless you're a super expert in your field, you're not going to notice a difference. It's one of these things, which kind of scary, but also fucking fascinating, man. I mean, we can use it. Lucas is using it right now to code, man. He's fucking vibe coding the shit out of it. He has no clue about fucking any kind of code, and it still works. He's like, don't get me wrong, I gotta clean him up after him, but it's okay. He's still looking good.
I mean, hey, I get my way around also with Windsurf, so can do my moderation tools. So
yeah, that's true, for sure. It's different though.
Okay, Mark, two things. Privacy.
Well, I think that's one of the things. It's going to be more and more of a focus overall, because since they have more and more access to your data, not only what you tell them, but with a browser, they will have also, I'm going to call it passive knowledge gathering, which, don't get me wrong, probably most websites or phones already do. They listen to your stuff.
Do you talk about fixing something in the house? Out of sudden, you get ads.
Yeah, the question is like, look, what are they doing it now for? And if it's an agentic browser that can do things automatically, how much can you like? If that gets hacked, damn boy.
Also with passwords,
like, what about your fucking bank account? All that information, are they going to all of a sudden? Oh, it's a bank account website, so I'm not going to look in your stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Ceric.
These are the things that will be really, really important. That's why.
Do you think there's a play for Apple? Because they're doing all the browsers now, and then like Safari.
I mean, honestly, biggest disappointment so far for Apple AI. Like so far, I mean, when did they announce it? Last year or 2 years ago?
But is it already out?
No, that's the thing.
Oh, okay.
Because they wanted to implement it, like basically having access to all your apps, right? And then can control it, but nothing is happening because it's
very
a hard,
complicated.
It's a very complex problem to solve. And at the same time, if Apple doesn't want to provide like.
No, I mean, they have Apple AI, right? It's just for the pro users on the newest phones, and they use it with ChatGPT. And they made it so that they don't get your data.
And also in Europe. But that's the thing. If without context, it's a big problem because without enough context.
Yeah, but it can give always the whole entire context and then just fucking make it anonymous, so it doesn't know that it's you.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I don't know. I'm fucking excited. Anyways, so the browser war, I think, is going to play out. I think it's going to be overhyped. I think it's not going to happen so fast because people are lazy to switch. They're still going to use the same browser for now. I've never heard anyone besides, one guy on Instagram who uses actually the OpenAI browser, because people are, look, I have everything in fucking, just the amount of tabs I have here saved.
I have it on Comet and have everything because they're all
you can import.
They're all based on Chromium, so they're
okay.
all using Chromium. So you can literally, I open Comet and I have everything there. Like it, I think besides passwords, right?
Okay,
so
people are skeptical though. People are initially skeptical.
That's the thing. That's why I think what Comet, so Perplexity is doing is very nice. You have the normal browser experience, so because people don't want to. Like they want to have nothing like super crazy because man,
look, see, I want to talk about. Look, we talk about business always here, so we just talked about the race for the new browsers, now the new frontier. But what about the users? Let's say e-commerce owners, like business owners. What does that impact them, right? How does it impact them? Because I think we already mentioned in another episode that now with AI and LLMs. A lot of websites get traffic through ChatGPT. Sorry. A few websites get it, but they get an unproportionate amount of traffic.
Just an example. So Civet AI is a website where people post whatever they generate with video generation or image generation. They're fine-tuned models. They can upload them there, etc. They have roughly 19 million monthly views. At least that's last month. And now they're getting more than 10 or 15% just traffic from ChatGPT. Just think about it. They're getting over like close to 2 million of traffic,
and it's free.
It's free traffic. So the thing is now more and more important becomes AEO, so answer engine optimization, which is basically gets you which gets you like highly ranked in these ChatGPT answers. Because the thing is, is
it just for ChatGPT or is it for all?
It's for any. So you have different. So you have also the crawler for a crawler for all the others one as well. So
okay, it's just in general. It's
it's like SEO, right? SEO is not for Chrome itself; it's for all of them.
All right.
So Bing, etc. Even though they have like a smaller market share, the same with ChatGPT. But the thing is, that becomes more and more important. I think this is right now a very underutilized opportunity.
Well, I've seen actually on Y Combinator, there's a couple of businesses that just do that for other businesses.
Oh, which makes totally sense.
Yeah, and they charge a shit ton. Like I'm talking a shit ton.
Because you get so much traffic. Like I mean,
it's unproportionate. Because look, just for people to say they have a little bit of context here. How many answers does ChatGPT give you? 2, 3 examples. Google, you can have the first 5, 10.
Yeah, but again, who watches at the 10? Like, to be honest,
no, but I'm saying this is like even then people could go technically to page 2, and they still did that sometimes. ChatGPT, you get these answers, and that's it, fucker. That's what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. So it's gonna be just on the top. The more it was already, anyways, very lopsided to the top, right? It's like you have the top 3 had like 80%
or more,
85%. But still, that means the rest is 0, which is wild. And what is it? 800 million people users already like use ChatGPT.
800 million, yeah,
800 million. So it's only gonna get more and more. I mean, we notice it now. Just Googling it. I barely Google. Well, sometimes if you go to a restaurant or something, but if I have technical questions, business questions, I usually ask ChatGPT.
Also, just because it's more comfortable or easier, just like talking. So yeah, that's for me so much easier. I really like. Okay, Mark, let's just wrap this up. This topic, this podcast, because I'm like, to be honest, very excited to see where it goes, especially with Perplexity and ChatGPT. Because Perplexity takes more the conservative approach, so you still have the browser, whereas ChatGPT, where you have this is for me mind blowing how we're going to see how shopping experiences, etc., how all of this will change. Because think about it, back in the day, a Google change shifted everything, how you were ranked number 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Now ChatGPT, the same case might be with a new version of ChatGPT, or how to handle crawling or all that stuff will also change. Because if you're now in the browser in ChatGPT looking for Nike shoes, whatever, like one change and all of a sudden you don't get traffic anymore. So that's like it's like not as mature as Google, where I think like now the changes are not as drastic anymore.
I think I'm looking forward to seeing all the changes, and fuck yeah, I want to know who's going to win the race. I'm always in for a good race.
Same. All right, everybody. Catch you next one. Peace.